What's going on, guys? Today in this video, I have a special guest with me, my wife, Takesha.
Hello. So in this video, we will be talking about tips for if you're going to have a Las Vegas wedding. Hey guys, so my tip is going to be about the view. If you are doing a destination wedding to Las Vegas, a big thing is, do you want it to look like you're having a Las Vegas wedding? We viewed a ton of beautiful venues, but they were gardens, and there are gardens anywhere. So that's one thing that we say to keep in mind when you are looking at venues is there a skyline? Is there something that says Vegas? When you're looking back at your pictures for years to come. We chose a place that was a balcony, terrace type place, and the whole strip was behind us. So when you look at our photos, you know we had our wedding in Vegas.
All right, so here's a big pro tip for you, and this is not even just for weddings. This is if you have a birthday coming up as well. Make sure the whole time you're in Vegas that you tell everybody that you're there to get married. Just like if it's your birthday, tell everybody it's your birthday. Reason being, everywhere you go, you increase the odds that somebody's going to give you something free because you're getting married. Restaurants, you'll get free drinks, you'll get cake, things like that. If you're at a bar, nightclubs, if you're doing any party buses, any of that type of stuff, tell everybody that you're there for a wedding. You'll get a lot more attention, you get a lot more comp type items, and a lot of free items. So do it.
I'm getting married.
All right, so two of the biggest considerations when planning your wedding are the time of year that you're going to schedule the wedding for, and then the cost of the wedding. With Vegas, there is a peak season and an off season for having weddings. That peak season is April through May and September through October. That's when everybody's trying to get out to Vegas and schedule weddings. So obviously, scheduling a wedding that around that time is going to cost you a lot more. If you want to save on that wedding, then you'll want to schedule your wedding for the off season, which is November through March and June through August. The thing to keep in mind is June through August is the warmest months in Vegas. So it's a good time to save money, but you're saving money because people typically don't want to have a super hot outdoor wedding. We actually did choose to have our wedding in August, and we just made some extra accommodations for our guests to try to make it as comfortable as possible. One of the things that we did was schedule our wedding towards sunset. One, so that we would be able to capture better pictures. It was way more scenic to have the lights, the backdrop of the Vegas Strip coming on as we were getting married. And then two, as it's, getting later in the day, it's also getting cooler. So that helped to kind of deal with some of that heat that you could experience in August. So two things to keep in mind there.
Another big tip is making sure when you're looking over the contract that you're looking at shipping and holding costs. So since this is a destination wedding, you may have some bigger pieces of decor or things that you're thinking, oh, I'll just get it shipped there. But if you look at the contract, the place may have a $50 receiving fee and then $25 per day. So what we did is we went out and bought the biggest suitcase known to man that we call Big Blue, and we filled up most of our wedding decor in that and flew it out there with us so that we weren't having to pay those extra fees.
All right, so if you're going to have a wedding in Vegas, obviously you have a lot of love for Vegas. So you're going to want different aspects of Vegas to be a part of that wedding outside of just being in Vegas. So what we did is we went to a few different places and picked up some items that could actually be used as part of our decor of the wedding. So we went to like M&M World and actually got custom M&Ms made and put in these little containers, and we had these on each of the tables. The M&Ms basically said like Mark and Takesha and various other wedding related phrases. So that was one thing we did. Got custom made napkins that had like Las Vegas logo on it and things like that. So definitely there's a lot of places where you can get souvenirs and get custom items made for weddings in Vegas very cheaply. And then there's obviously websites that you can go to get custom made items as well, and they have a lot of options for Vegas themes. So I would definitely recommend that. It was a nice touch, and I'll show you guys some of the items that we ended up with. Even our invitations were very Vegas centric. It wasn't just a regular invitation, so I'll make sure to include some of the pictures of those. And yeah, definitely add that extra touch. It makes it a lot more memorable. All right, so another thing that I would definitely recommend if you're going to have a destination wedding in Vegas is to build some sort of website. A website that one, people can go to and RSVP for the wedding. That'll take some of the overhead of getting people RSVP'd off of you. It kind of automates it for you. Two, because this is going to be a destination wedding, there's going to be a lot of people that have questions about best deals on places to stay. If you're having anything outside of just the wedding, any get-togethers, dinners, things like that, there's going to be all your guests that they're going to want to know the details of that stuff, and they're going to forget the details of it when they get there, things like that. So you'll want to have a website where you can answer almost every question, and you won't have to deal with trying to coordinate all that stuff while you're in the midst of actually focusing on getting married. So there's many different services out there that you can use to spin up a website really quickly. A lot of auto website builders. I used a WordPress site. I'm a developer, so it was pretty easy to get that going. And yeah, it's also a nice touch on your for your wedding, because it's a place where you can put some of the pictures. I kind of chronicled our journey of meeting, getting engaged, having a child, and then some of the wedding photographs as well. So it's a really cool thing, and it'll help you to not have to deal with all those questions while you're focusing on the real important thing, which is getting married.
All right, my other tip is going to be reviews. Don't just look at the websites and their reviews. Look at the knot.com and other websites like I think Wedding Wire. They have real bridal reviews with their own photos, not just the stock photos that the locations have on their brochures and on their websites. Invitations, big tip here, so listen up. Since you're having a destination wedding, you need to send the wedding invites out super early. This gives your guests time to save and look for locations for them to stay, and activities for them to do during that time as well. We also suggest that you send your invites out in waves with a hard RSVP. The reason for this is if you have 40 seats that you have to fill, it's a minimum. You have 100 people saying they want to come, but normally that's not always how it works out. So you send out your first 40, you give them a hard date. When that date comes around, if they have not responded, you move to your second list. That way you ensure that you have your full capacity as well.
So one other thing that I would recommend is to have a get-together with all of your guests maybe a day or two before the wedding ceremony. One, this is to make sure that everybody actually made it in town, and you can confirm that everybody that needs to be there is there. And two, it's going to be likely, unless you're all coming from the same city, that there's going to be people there who don't necessarily know each other well. And to take away some of the awkwardness, we decided to have a get-together. I just rented an Airbnb at the Palms Place. It was super cheap, very nice, had a nice walkout terrace that had a view of the Strip. It was a really cool way to get everybody together, have a good time, have some drinks, and kind of break the tension. And just kind of help with that transition of getting into the actual wedding day. And that was a good forum for people to ask questions as well about the plans for the rest of the trip, and it definitely helped out and everybody enjoyed it.
As Mark mentioned, how we had the get together beforehand to make it less awkward for everybody as they were coming together for a wedding, because there was only about 20 to 30 of them, so we wanted them to get to know each other. For food, what we did is down the Strip, not that far as a Sam's Club, so we went up there and stocked up on food. The place that we stayed at the Palms Place, actually had a kitchen, a really small kitchen, that we were able to cook up some little foods for everybody, so that it wasn't costing a lot, but it really was an awesomeness time for everybody. Another tip that I highly suggest is Dollar Tree does bulk. So you can order off their website and actually have delivered to one of their stores for free, and then you go pick up the boxes. That's how we did the fans and some other small trinkets that we did for people as their like welcome packs. Bride tip: find a cheap dress off of Marketplace or somewhere else, because you will not want to wear your super expensive wedding dress out to the clubs. People will step on it. It will get beyond disgusting. So I actually found a dress that was a similar cut to my very expensive wedding dress that I paid, I think, $50 off of Marketplace. And then that's what I wore out. And then that way I didn't have to worry about my really expensive, beautiful dress getting ruined and me having to get mad at people. That's all the tips we have for now. We hope that they really help you plan your Las Vegas wedding.
All right. And if you have a Vegas wed story, make sure to share details of it in the comments below. Thank you.
Subscribe.